We're living in a time where becoming a better human looks less like go on a walk and talk about your feelings, and more like a CrossFit workout mixed with a cult retreat that takes afterpay. Everywhere you look, someone is cold plunging in a horse trough, someone else is waking up at 4:30 a.m. to journal about their core values in a $90 notebook, and a 19-year-old on TikTok is selling a course called How to Unlock Your Limitless Potential for the low price of a used Honda Civic. Self-help used to be simple. Read a book, take a walk, call your mom, maybe drink some water. Now it's a billion-dollar funnel where optimizing your life somehow requires 17 supplements, a $400 smart water bottle, red light therapy for body parts you probably shouldn't be pointing lasers at, and a morning routine that takes so long you basically need a second morning routine just to recover from it. And somewhere in all of this, we started believing that growth has to be complicated to be real. That if it's not extreme, expensive, intense, or aesthetically pleasing, it doesn't count. Improvement used to be something you did, now it's something you were expected to buy. This video is sponsored by Tonal, more on them later. The self-help industry didn't become huge by accident. It grew because the world got harder and people got overwhelmed. Salaries stagnated, burnout skyrocketed, work weeks stretched past 60 or 70 hours, debt piled up, and the cost of existing climbed like it had a personal vendetta. People needed relief. They needed direction, they needed simplicity. What the industry gave them was everything but that. What started as self-care became self-optimization. What started as mindfulness became a performance. What started as personal growth became a lifestyle, one you could conveniently buy in monthly installments. And companies realized something crucial. Simplicity doesn't scale, complexity does. Telling people sleep more, eat whole foods, move your body, go to therapy doesn't build a 9-figure empire. But selling them a 28-step morning routine with a 9-day detox on a 12-month subscription, wrapped in a new identity and a promise you can unlock your highest self in just 14 days, that prints money. And somewhere inside all of that noise, I got lost too. I bought the supplements, I did the cold plunges, I followed the complicated routines. One morning, staring at my counter, I realized I was taking 17 supplements. 17. That's not health, that's becoming a human maraca. I don't think any adult should rattle when they walk. My routines got so complicated that I was spending more time managing my improvement than actually improving anything. It felt productive, it looked impressive, but it wasn't changing my life. It was just filling it. Because that's what the self-help industrial complex does. It keeps you busy, it keeps you buying, it keeps you believing complexity is the same thing as growth. And when you peel back the marketing, the aesthetics, the guru language, and the algorithm-friendly buzzwords, you find something nobody really talks about. The industry sells you the idea that your problems are complicated because complicated problems require complicated solutions. And complicated solutions can be monetized. Meanwhile, real life isn't that complex. You're tired, you're overwhelmed, you're lonely, you're disconnected, you're distracted, you're stressed, you're not recovering. These aren't algorithmic identity crises. They're human experiences. But when every emotion gets framed as a problem, requiring a system or a protocol or a coach or a course, you stop trusting your own ability to navigate your life. You outsource your intuition. You rent someone else's identity. You adopt someone else's rules. And worst of all, you start optimizing instead of living. The psychology behind this is sneaky. We don't fall for self-help complexity because we're gullible. We fall for it because it gives us dopamine. Planning a transformation feels like transformation. Buying a system feels like progress. Joining a challenge feels like purpose. It's the transformation high. A hit of possibility. Your brain goes, oh my God, this is it. This is the thing. This is the version of me I've been trying to become. It feels good. It feels hopeful. It feels new. But then it fades. And now you're left with a protocol that requires more time, energy, tools, and emotional bandwidth than you actually have. So you quit. And you blame yourself. And the industry whispers, it's not you. You just need this next system. And the cycle continues. After taking a real break from social media, months of actual quiet, no feeds, no hacks, no one yelling about unlocking my potential, I came back with a clearer mind and everything looked different. The selling, the performances, the polished perfection, it all felt painfully obvious. And I remember thinking, wait, has all of this been ridiculous the whole time, or did I just finally get enough silence to notice? Growth isn't complicated, it's inconvenient. And those are not the same thing. The industry sold complexity because it's profitable. But simplicity, the stuff that actually works, is inconvenient. Eating mostly whole foods? Inconvenient. Going to bed earlier? Inconvenient. Exercising? Inconvenient. Saying no to things? Inconvenient. Letting yourself rest? Extremely inconvenient. None of this looks sexy on Instagram, none of this requires a checkout page, none of this gives you a transformation high. It gives you something else. A life that actually starts improving. Before we get into the simple shifts that actually work, this is the part of the video where I briefly participate in the very industrial complex I just spent 6 minutes calling out. Feel free to fast forward if you want, I can't stop you, I'm not your dad. I'll just consider it your own tiny act of rebellion. One of the biggest reasons people avoid strength training is because it feels overwhelming. You walk into a gym and immediately wonder, am I doing this right? Is this even helping? Why is that guy curling in the squat rack? But with Tonal, you actually see your progress with every workout. Tonal provides the convenience of a full gym and the guidance of a personal trainer anytime at home with one sleek system. It's designed to reduce your mental load so you can focus on planning your workout and more on actually getting results. And no more second-guessing your form. Tonal gives you real-time coaching cues to help you lift safely and effectively. After a quick assessment, Tonal sets the optimal weight for every move and adjusts in 1 pound increments as you get stronger, which is basically the opposite of the complicated routines I just spent 6 minutes roasting. And it keeps things simple. Strength, aero hit, yoga, mobility, expert-led workouts, no matter what you're in the mood for. Shop the New Year's sale now. For a limited time, Tonal is offering our listeners 20% off a personal trainer. That's over $850 in savings. Go to tonal.com now and save big. Tonal.com. You don't escape the self-help industrial complex by adding more steps, rules, or routines, but by subtracting everything that makes your life harder without making it better. The first thing I did was stop outsourcing my thinking. No creator, including me, knows your life better than you do. The second thing I did was focus on things that were so stupidly simple, it felt almost insulting. Sleeping more, eating real food, lifting heavy things, walking outside, doing one hard thing a day, letting myself be human without constantly diagnosing it, and slowly I started to feel like a person again. I wasn't chasing the next system, I wasn't performing wellness, I wasn't trying to be optimized. I was just living. And it felt shockingly good. Not impressive, not aesthetic, not viral worthy, just good. What the self-help world won't tell you, your life changes more from deleting one thing than adding 10. Delete the pressure, delete the complexity, delete the over-engineered routines, delete the idea that you need a guru, delete the belief that growth has to look impressive. And suddenly, improvement stops being a performance and becomes a quiet, consistent part of your life. Like brushing your teeth, or eating breakfast, or showing up for the people you love. Simple, repeatable, unsexy, and real. If you want to actually improve your life, you don't need a $400 morning routine, you need a quiet moment, a simple habit, and the guts to show up tomorrow. And if you want someone fumbling through that process right alongside you, you know where the subscribe button is.